what we can do, what's actionable items on our part as citizens. Because I did see something that I thought was a bit concerning on my story, right? I looked at an Instagram story. Somebody was going off about like, yo, you see this shit that they put in front of us? Like, just kind of a very anti-establishment train of thought. And I can understand why they thought that way.
Anti-establishment.
But their solution was like, yo, let's not take part in this. Fuck the government. And that, I feel like, would be the gravest mistake ever. Like, this idea that, like, because it's not working the way that we want it to work, like, do I like the political system? Do I like how the electoral colleges work and everything and this whole, like, winner takes all system? Fuck no. Because it doesn't put the people that we want to actually be elected.
It is a democracy.
You don't give it a chance. It's not really a democracy.
It's a democracy, but it's not one that's built for the people.
No, it's built for the corporations.
You know what I'm saying?
But
shout out my nigga Ronald Reagan.
What the solution is not is to...
It's his fault, bro.
The solution is not to withdraw.
Younger than niggas' parents, you know that?
That's the biggest thing. Like, I don't think the solution is to withdraw, especially as the younger generation, because the people who get catered to are the people who vote. That's why that's why everything's catered to the older generation, because they're the people who show up and vote. And at the end of the day, yeah, we don't like the options, but if you don't vote, guess what? It only makes it easier for Trump to win. And I don't love Biden, but I definitely don't.
Young niggas fuck with Trump, bro.
I'm not.
You sound crazy.
That's so wild to me, bro.
Yeah, but you sound crazy saying shit like that.
Because at the end of the day, bro,
like,
this is not a Trump versus Biden, like, this is not a vote between Trump versus Biden. This is Trump's administration versus Biden's administration.
Right, let me give you this.
This is a whole... No, let me get this up.
I'm just saying.
What's up?
The next words you say, you got 30 seconds. Frame it and convince a young nigga why they need to vote.
They need a vote because we seen what happened under Trump's administration. First of all, half of the administration isn't even returning. That says a lot. Another thing is he was able to put 3 Supreme Court justices in position during his 4 years, bro. And you seen how much that changed shit with Roe v. Wade getting overturned and with the Supreme Court being out of balance, bro. We don't need that to further, bro. So all I'm saying is, even though I don't believe in, I feel like he's an uninspired leader.
What's that woman's name, bro?
I believe Biden's administration is the best one for the job. And then after we get that done, we can start having conversations about how we could change the things that we don't like about the system. But
what if there's
under the current one, bro, withdrawing is not going to work.
But gas prices were so low.
Okay.
Bro, shut up, bro. Because anybody...
Well, you telling me to shut up, but I'm telling you what niggas is going to say back to you, nigga. This is how niggas think about it.
For all those people who care about the
saying,
stimulus check, guess what? It caused inflation, bro. Your dollar is not worth the same dollar that it was worth a couple years ago.
So where the next stimulus
That's
at?
why the food costs more than it does. Like, no, do not keep printing money. That is not the solution.
Stimulus?
No, we don't want that.
Why not? Money's not real.
Because...
Bro, because you know I don't think like this.
I know.
Bro, and shit, that's how niggas be.
I would urge those people to get educated about what the long-term effects. Yeah, bro. I would
want niggas to learn.
I want all of them to learn. I want you to watch. It's easier than ever. Go watch some YouTube videos, bro. Like, it's really not that hard to just try to have an understanding of what these
young niggas,
these things impact, how they impact the economics.
Here's why you should vote for Biden. Because all the shit that you want, that nigga also want. You just don't know it yet.
No, you didn't even explain it. That's not convincing
and then
at
they
all.
ask questions. They
they're just gonna keep walking.
They bring up the stimulus.
I gave them valid reasons.
But my thing is that you're trying to convince them not to vote for Trump. You know what I mean? But for me, it's like you can't do that because they want to vote for him. The wild thing.
Who's these young kids who want to vote for Trump, bro?
Bro, I promise
I feel like a lot of them want to do some bullshit,
crazy,
bro. And even then,
these niggas is trying to vote for that nigga Trump
after the debate.
They want that bread, bro.
They're not getting the bread. Bro. Who would think like the stimulus checks is happening again, bro? We see what the long-term effects of that was.
You're 18 now, bro.
You are 18.
That's
You're a part of that next generation. Who you voting for? You gonna say?
See,
see,
it's not a definitive answer.
But that's the problem. What you're saying, you don't really know at this point.
Are you even planning to vote? No.
See, that's what I'm saying,
and that's why they don't cater up.
And that's the problem,
because they're like, yo, fuck that base. We don't even need to serve them because they don't show up, bro.
The young niggas is either not voting or they gonna vote for Trump.
Well, the thing is, young people do show up. They did for Obama. I think they felt slighted and neglected during that reign that they're like, yo,
the solution is to not withdraw. I understand that.
That was mad un-American, bro. You know the Olympics is coming up and shit, man. Come on, man. We gotta get the language down pat. We gotta show them that we're a country again.
You know what I was trying to say.
And I hear you, bro. It's descending into worse territory.
Like, it's getting bad.
Like it really is. Like, and remember that video that you sent to the group chat where it was like, why the younger generation's getting fucked, bro. In terms of
cares about
housing
us, bro. They
prices,
don't
in terms
care
of
about us.
student debt,
They do
in
not
terms
care
of
for us.
prices of everything, bro.
So here's what we need to do.
But you know why it's that way? Because the older people vote.
Oh yeah,
They're the ones who like are able to
For sure.
on every level, not just the presidential
it's
level.
a combination of a couple things, but that's definitely a huge factor.
But imagine this, right? If I'm an older person, right, and I have a house, I own a home, maybe own a couple homes, and I'm voting the people even in my local government. I'm going to push for things that help me out.
For you at that
feel
age,
me?
for sure.
Do I want you to build new
For sure.
homes if it's gonna change the value of my house?
Absolutely
No.
not.
So we gonna limit the
If you a
amount of
greedy
permits
ass, old ass-
that we give out. All of that.
I was about to say some shit.
It's little things like that. I even after the debate, I was looking at like, yo, is an independent option an option?
Hell no.
Do I fuck with Robert F. Kennedy and his horse ass voice?
This nigga.
It's really hard. No, I'm not gonna lie. I like his ideas, but it's really tough to listen to that guy.
I'll say this.
But let me just finish this point. The reason that's a non-starter is because every vote for the independent is another vote for the person you don't want to win, bro.
Right now, yeah.
Because that's how our system is built with the two-party system.
We could look at it in this perspective as well. Because I do think that the reason why young people continue to get the short end of the stick is because niggas don't vote. Another reason why is because the politicians are not young. You know what I'm saying? So like their best interest is generally going to be to support the people that are amongst the same age group and same experience level.
But why are
in
they
life
not
as
young?
them. Because
Well,
they're not young. Just I feel like to me that's a tricky question. Not because I feel like a lot of
they're
younger,
hoarding power within their age
right.
group.
It's hoarding
demographic.
power, and I also think that a lot of younger candidates are corny as fuck. Like niggas be moving like they don't move in reality. Like I was having this conversation yesterday about like the way that niggas look. They move. A lot of candidates, right? Like you know what I mean. You take it like your AOCs. You take some of even like the younger candidates who are not even like super young. You feel me? Like even someone like Ayanna Pressley. It's like they move with like very like fervent like beliefs and like stances, but for like older people, it's like we disagree, whatever. We have different stances on like the political framework of this country. We have all the stuff. We all believe in democracy, but we think differently about the way that we should go about it, right? But the way that they're going about it right now is, I'm not gonna say that I'm right. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong. I'm gonna say that this is the way that it needs to be done, and here's the outcome. And they asked the older people, will you present me with similar outcomes? And they're like, no. The only outcome I need to show you is that America been around for 300 fucking years. You're wrong. And there's no argument that you can have for that because for them, technically they're correct. The foundation that the country is standing upon has been sustainable, like regardless of the impact, it has been sustainable for keeping democracy afoot and for keeping the haves and have-nots in their place. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't care, like a lot of people who have the haves, let's say, a lot of those older people don't care if the have-nots don't have shit. And especially when those have-nots are going to consistently be like their children, all the shit. They don't have their children in those positions. They don't have that connection to them. The younger generation is not finding ways to connect to the older generation. And the older generation, there's no bridging the gap. The older generation not doing the same for them. So at the same time as we want to be like, oh, younger people need to vote, we also just need to connect with each other. Niggas have to be in tune with how we can really like speak the language of the older people, speak the language of the younger people. We really want to meet in the middle and find somewhere to go. Because like the way I be seeing these young niggas move is like, yo, like I'm talking about politicians specifically. It's like, I know you want like these older niggas to move in a different way, but like the way that you're talking to them, the way that you're treating them is not going to get them to care about what you got to say, bro. Like the shit's ages and it's unfortunate because I think them old ass niggas need to go too, but it's like, they're not going to respect that shit. And on the flip side, yeah, you want younger voters to vote for you. Well, I mean, kind of, because like at the same time, it's like, hey, young niggas don't really be voting anyway. So it's like, if you don't vote, I doubt them older niggas are gonna care. It's really up to us, no bullshit type shit. But for the older niggas that are looking to the younger niggas to vote, you want the young people to vote for you, speak their language. And I feel like Trump is one person that's actually doing a good job of that. Unfortunately, the nigga he's messy as fuck, bro. He's speaking drama language, and that's what young people speak. So they're going
drama language
type shit,
That's
and they gonna listen to
it.
You feel me? They
That's
gonna
a good
listen
way
to
to put
it.
it.
So like either niggas gotta figure out a
Nigga
way.
bringing
that
out
drama
fucking
language good for-
rappers and shit. Like
Type
it's
shit.
just like he's
bullshit.
appealing to them.
You got to either find a way to speak to the younger generation and speak to the masses that you want to vote for you, or you just got to call it a dub and just hope that your base is stronger.
Bro, that language might be cool for like reality TV, like when he was harmless over there, but not in this role. You feel me? Like we gotta have expectations of how a president communicates. Because at the end of the day,
but think about what Nate said at the beginning.
they're the figurehead of the country.
Think about what Nate said at the beginning, bro. People are looking at this as an entertainment
Type shit.
I don't know.
and Trump is more entertaining.
Yeah, we're fucked, bro.
And I hear you, bro. And I'm right there with you. Don't get me wrong.
And the biggest
because even the
issue,
shit that
too-
I was saying about Reagan and shit. The reason why I even mentioned that is because that's how America feels, bro. We
Tight.
are a very small population of niggas who have sense. You feel me?
Type
Like
shit.
these niggas is really out of their minds in a lot of instances.
A lot of people tuned out of this conversation because they was like, "Oh, they talking about politics? Fuck
Exactly.
outta here." Like they stopped. Like they was like, no, we wanted Kendrick versus Drake again. Fuck.
But that's, you feel me though? And it's like, and it's not to say that it's not
Yo,
anyone's
comment
fault.
below if you still here. Like I want to see in the comments like we still here, and then put your age or something. Like
It's
we got to do a little
Facts.
field
And it's not to
survey.
say
It's
that
important
niggas
to pay
don't have it
attention to this
either.
shit.
Because I know a lot of niggas do care about this shit. I know a lot of young people really do care about this shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, like, the shit boring as fuck. And unless them older niggas, unless niggas like us are starting to speak the language of the populations of people that we want to speak for, the shit not gonna change, bro. Sorry.
And then okay, I have one thing, but I'm gonna have two things. Right, one is like, what's tough about investing into politics is like deciphering what's bullshit that they're just trying to like.
And you might never know.
This show that they're putting on, like the Democrats and the Republicans, like what's really like
Them
just
Crips and Republicans. Shout out Kendrick.
Type shit.
like how much of it is just like it is the entertainment. They want us to like involve ourselves in this game, but behind the scenes, bro, they all cool. They got the same agenda. Da 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 da. Versus like what we're seeing. What's really like rooted in reality. Like
One
you know
thing
what I
I was
mean?
So say the question again. Like, what do you?
How do you
asking?
decipher what's just the game, the politics
also gonna-
game, and what is like real? Like what
Can I say
impact
this?
is actually tangible versus like what's really out of our control?
One thing about Trump is that he might lie a lot, but he lies and stands on it for himself. He doesn't talk about the Republican Party very often. He talks about himself a lot. And so it's like he might lie, but he's standing on that lie as an individual. He's like, I'm right, Republican, whatever. But like, even when he was talking about abortion, like he emphasized, he was like, yeah, the majority of my party don't think the same way as me about this shit. But I got my stance
I'm
on
not
it.
gonna lie, he
More
kind
power
of
to
killed it
you.
with that answer though.
But
he
he
was
does
like,
that
yo,
a
leave
lot,
it up
though.
to the
This is
states.
true.
But he does,
That's all I'm saying.
and I don't agree with that. I think that's bullshit. But I think because it's like
No,
why
but
the
how
fuck-
he answered for
No,
his
yeah,
platform,
facts.
he did that successfully.
And it's like niggas who are Republican are not gonna be like, this nigga. They're gonna be like, that's valid. You know what I mean? Like it's different, whatever. But
I disagree, but like
but you know what I mean? Like he's doing
close
like,
enough
that's-
versus what
exactly.
the Democrats want.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the thing is that there's not enough individuality. So the way that, for me at least, the way that I cipher through the lies is like, which one of y'all stands on business as an individual? And I feel like Biden refuses to do it. How the fuck? I mean, maybe he can't. No bullshit. Niggas type old, so maybe he doesn't really like know what he wants as an individual, and maybe the shit that he wants probably doesn't even align with what his party wants, type shit, and he's afraid to say it. But for me, it's like, bro, speak on what you want. Speak on what you will do. Speak on what you have the power to do,
Versus,
and
like,
keep it a rack.
fear-mongering, right?
You feel me? Because
Yeah.
you keep doing that shit, bro. And it's like, my nigga, I don't care. The world can end right now, nigga. Fine, fuck it. No bullshit,
know,
bro.
bro,
Like,
'cause
nigga, if
like-
it's over, then nothing I can do. People are real drawn to helplessness, bro. If they want to do fear mongering like 10 years ago, that shit might work. But right now, niggas don't care. Niggas despondent already, nigga. Everybody depressed. We don't give a fuck. You tell me that them niggas gonna bomb our country and blow us up? Damn. Let me make sure I look fresh for the apocalypse, nigga. Like, you know what I mean? Niggas don't care, bro. Like, no, real talk, am I lying? They gotta find a better way, but that's how I decipher it. It's like, who speaks on an individual? Trump might be saying a lot of bullshit, but at least he's standing on business as an individual. Fuck that nigga, though. I ain't voting for that
and
nigga.
as much
bitch-ass
as I'm
nigga,
like
no bullshit.
encouraging the youth to vote, and they should, and that's important. But let's be real. The biggest difference, the real gap, is like you said, the haves and the have-nots.
Hey, shit.
You want to make a change? Get your money up.
Get your money
and when
up.
you do get your money up, don't change your morals to just
Facts. Get your money up, not your funny up. Literally, don't switch up, nigga.
Like get the resources you need to make the influence and impact, but don't change your morals because now it's oh shit. And actually, they might protect my bread. Let me start acting funny and going to this side. But yeah, the biggest difference is like, damn, I was having a conversation with my pops yesterday. We were just talking about like, yo, it just kind of feels like we in like the tail end of like capitalism. Like the shitty tail end. You
tail
feel me?
end of
Like in the
capitalism.
beginning, capitalism is lit. You feel me? You got all these resources in front of you. You got this land that hasn't been utilized yet. You got these raw resources that haven't turned into
Yeah.
finished resources. And now everybody's kind of like, not everybody's starting on the same footing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna send you
Nigga
this video
said,
because what you're
well,
saying reminds me of something.
That's
It's
mad
called like
funny.
But let me rock.
Nigga said there's this land that hasn't been utilized yet that we murdered mad people to get.
Nah, but you understand
The
what I'm
shitty-
saying.
I'm
It's
saying-
like
you're saying,
there's
like,
not buildings all over the place. You feel me?
We're on the shitty tail end of capitalism.
what I'm
like,
saying.
You talking about Americans.
Yes, no,
Okay,
yeah,
like the Americans-
our
the American
generation.
people.
No, our younger generation specifically
But
because
like of Americans, though.
yes,
Okay, I see what you're
American
saying.
capitalism. Because now it's like all the people who could have benefited already. You feel
Like
me?
shit.
And they have the corporations like the Apples, the Microsoft, all these things that was like before our time that got established. Like even before then, like oil companies, all that. And now all they're doing is just making themselves richer. Like the rich are just making themselves richer,
Right.
and the have-nots don't have much that we could do to change it because now we kind of like the barriers are the barriers at entry are so much higher.
Right.
It's not easy to buy a crib like it was 50 years ago.
Big facts.
I can't just like
Nigga,
work
even
my
5
9 to
years ago,
5,
10
bro.
years ago.
Exactly. I can't just work my 9 to 5 and easily just get a crib. Like these cribs cost $400,000 on average now. Like who can afford that most of the time? Like that's tough, bro. And if you don't have a home, that's a lot of people's like form of like building their nest of wealth. And if you can't even get over that cycle, and again, it's just like now these corporations they're so fucking powerful and big that they're gonna put money in the politicians' pockets. They're gonna push the legislation that they want that's gonna protect them, and they're not looking out for the greater good, bro. So it's like I feel like we assed out.
You bring up a good point. I think if you look at history, history repeats itself. Like America has been a country for relatively 200 something years now. You feel me? And it's had a pretty good run. You feel me? Like,
it's almost 300. It's getting
almost.
there. It's moving into 300. But I don't think we're at I think we're at 250.
But you feel me?
We're close to 250.
It's had a very long run where, like you're saying, there's been so much exponential compounding growth. You feel me? From however measure of time you want to use to like dissect it. If you look at some of our other countries, like they've all gone through their periods of time where they crash, it burns out, the country kind of falls in itself and it rebuilds. I do think we are approaching that point where it's like, the flame is getting smaller and
when you talk
smaller
about that exponential growth, and I want you to finish that point, I'm sorry. When we talk about that exponential growth, that still exists, but it's for the top 1%. Like if you saw a graph of like the bottom 10% or just the bottom 50% and the top 1%, you'll see like the bottom 50% just stays the fucking same over like the last 50 years.
Like, which is
just stays
absurd,
the same.
bro. It's
and
absurd.
the top 1% has skyrocketed 300%.
And I think like
income inequality is wild.
I think both of them were saying this during, I was about to say last night, during the debate, like we're the fastest growing economy. That's just not true. That's incorrect. The fastest growing economies are countries that are now, for example, India, I think is actually one of the fastest growing economies. You got fucking Guyana, I think is one of the other countries that are up there, but that's a smaller country, so it doesn't compare in size. But when you look at India, when you look at China, it's like their country, for one, I think the biggest difference is that their culture is different. America is a country built up of multiple cultures competing against each other. You feel me? These are people who are clashing because they want to have as many more resources for their own people. You got blacks against whites. You got whites against Asians, Asians against blacks because they want to care about their own people. That's not necessarily the same for these countries over here, like India and China, because they're all from the same background.
Kind of.
To a degree, like you said, kind of.
Religion might separate them, but like for the most
part, region and stuff like that. But like,
but then also like the way that they treat each other. I think America's just different in that, and that like niggas, like you look at like for example, I take Asian people in America have a voice. Black people in China don't have a fucking voice.
I mean, they're like,
feel me,
0.1% or some shit. Like
less than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but that's the thing.
That.
That's just different. This country is just different.
Yeah,
America's just a different country than those countries. They don't like people being from outside coming into China. You feel me?
Yeah.
In India, them niggas is basically just little. They were Little Britain for a long time.
For a very long time.
You know what I'm saying, and it was like they're the reason. Like they could have been up, but now they're getting to the point where they're at. But even with that, like if you look into India's infrastructure, a lot of that shit is American modeled. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna experience the same shit that we're experiencing right now, in like maybe like 30. No bullshit. But it's also hard for them, like in order, because like we're capping, we're what's it called? We're like capping their like speed of growth. Because a lot of their like developments and shit, we're like taking. You feel me? Like think about like the vaccination shit when we think about like the COVID vaccine. All that shit was Indian made. Like literally like all their science and all the shit was there. And then it's like, but we're
a lot of manufacturing and biotech happens in India.
You know what I'm saying? We're like, we're patenting it and then bringing it over here for profit. Where they're getting like pennies, and the people in India can't even get the vaccine type shit. But we can. Like at the time, it's different now.
It's just gonna collapse on itself. I think
sure.
it's
we're
especially
screwed,
like
we're gonna be in a real bad place.
So when does that happen? When the have-nots have enough?
I don't know, cause like when I remember watching this video.
You get tired?
It's called like the story of your enslavement. And they're talking about like the Roman model, right? America follows like this Roman model, and like you look at the history of Rome, eventually it collapsed on itself as well. We're on that same trajectory. I think to your point, it does happen where the common person is being kind of like compressed on itself because of the issue of sustainability. This shit it can't run for long.
Yeah.
It's not gonna run for long. You feel me? Like if people can't even afford to put a home or create a home for themselves, for their families, like what am I supposed to do?
Well,
what is it? I think I seen somebody posted it yesterday, like that they're attacking homelessness now at the Supreme Court level. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing right now? This shit's wild, my nigga. What was you about to say?
I think that one of the reasons why we run into this problem is because, again, different than China and different than like India and shit, like America just is different. You like promote too many different things and different lifestyles and different ways of living. There's only one way of living in China. You work, you die. There's one way of living in India. You work, you die.
It's very disciplined.
You know what I'm saying? Over here, it's like, nah, you could be an artist. You could be like,
very, very
you
I could be a Twitch streamer. I could be an influencer.
Because like, that's what America's about. It's about freedom. You know what I mean? To be who.
Which has its pros, don't get me wrong. It has its pros.
But
you know, I
like,
think individuality matters.
Right,
you feel me? People should have purpose.
But look at the times, right? When you think about the Roman Empire, the best art, you feel me? The best shit that came out of Rome that niggas still remember to this day came at the back end. When niggas was falling apart and niggas was like, I got some shit to talk about. I got some shit to create. I got statues to build. I got, you know what I mean? It's just dope.
That's the truth.
And it's like, yo, you see that shit? And that's where we're at, nigga. We got Kendrick, nigga. Once he dropped Not Like Us, I knew what time it was, nigga. It was about to be over. I knew it was about to be over for America.